Hey guys, thank you for joining another episode of the Candy Show. I'm your host, Candy. Guys, guess what? We have some special guests in the building. We actually have the original members of the Candy Internet Talk Show, Fly Girl TW and DJ Silver Fox. So, guys, just stay tuned. I hope you enjoy. We got a lot of catching up to do, and we'll see what's up next. I want to change it up, guys, real quick. What is something, be it fun or serious, that you learned during COVID?
Hmm.
Whew. Um,
For me, tranquility. Um, because I guess I've been on the move so much. To say I retired, but I didn't really retire. I was still on the move. I work with an organization called Church Women United, which is a diverse group. And we fight a lot of legislative issues and women's issues quite a bit. And we work with Christian women around the world. So for me, I was like, between the homeless shelter, um, working with the families, still working at church, president of missionary at church, and still in the choir. So me, I was just always on the go. So when COVID came and we were, you know,
Forced to.
restricted as to what we could do. And the director said, well, Debbie, you'll be working from home. You'll be dealing with the families via Zoom, and you definitely won't come in and hurt my feelings. You definitely won't come in because you're in the senior age. I'm like, what are you
Oh,
talking about?
Lord.
that's fun.
So it was tranquility, being used, and oh my God, being home with Mistress 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Lord have mercy. And he's germophobic, cleanophobic, phobic, and every week it was a project.
Oh, wow. You're busy.
Whether it was, he would just start throwing stuff out of the garage and throwing stuff out of this and storing, and I'd just be it's like we're gonna kill each other. So that's what COVID has taught me, because now I'm he was in the living room here, and I told him, I said, well, I'm going to be on Zoom, and sometimes my voice elevates. I'll be fine, just shut the door. I notice he's moved to the other side of
I
the
did.
house.
That's funny. You must have got a little loud for Mr. Lee.
So we had to learn our happy space, and
Yeah.
is what's so good is uh, until we meet in the evening, my bedroom is my is my space. I have my toilet and bathroom in here and everything, and he on the other side he has his bathroom and his room. So
There you
when
go.
we need our space, we go into our corners, just like the boxers. Really.
Mhm.
Fly girl
Okay.
TW.
Um, I don't know if I learned anything. I guess what I'll say is for me it solidified um, where I want to be. I don't think it's a surprise to maybe either one of you, but I've always said that I want to move to and retire to the British countryside. And people think it's a joke. Like they're like, "Oh no, you
No,
don't. You're not going to
no.
leave your granddaughter. You're not." And I say, "No, I can because she's not my child, you know."
Mhm,
And I love her, but at this point in my life, and I think it probably has to do with the MS too, and not knowing that's unpredictable. And of
mhm,
course, I love to travel. So for me, when I close my eyes and open them, I think of serenity. And what I
mhm,
see in front of me is rolling green pastures and some sheep. Okay. So I know for me that it just solidified I'm ready to leave this country. And not
mhm,
because of what Trump has done to it, because he's done a lot to it. But we're better than Trump, and we'll get back to a sense of hopefully feeling like a country that other people still admire and want to come to. But I do know that I want to retire to, or and even before retirement, move to the British countryside. And that's what I want. And I wanted it for a long time, but just being here at home, I know that that's just solidified that for me with COVID is that's where I want to be. That is, mom asked me that yesterday too. She's like, well, if you had your choice, I gave her all the places I wanted to go. And I said, well, home is where the heart is, and my heart is in London, and actually the countryside of there. And it's because even with COVID, my neighbors wouldn't be, they would be hundreds of miles away. So I could still open the door. And it may sound weird, but I want to see my dog run out the house and just run. Would be joyful for me, is just to see him run and have a good time, instead of wondering, what the heck are they doing next door? Why are they making so much noise? Okay, are they done moving in yet? I just want to have some peace and tranquility and serenity. And I know that it looks like that. It doesn't look like this.
So, I have to say this. Besides the fact that I've been trying to just focus on myself and my health, which actually that was something I was trying to focus on prior to COVID. So that's kind of not new. But I learned how to wash fruit. I learned how to wash bananas and oranges.
Yeah.
Oh,
All
wait.
right.
So,
I didn't know where you were going, but okay.
but I probably should have said this in the beginning. Some things just don't change. So prior to COVID happening, I started my abstinence stint again. So
I've never stopped mine, so
well, that goes. I had to get a break there, so but
yeah. I don't even know what the activity is. Yeah. So what you're saying now is you are celibate.
Yes.
Okay.
It's the beginning of the year prior to COVID. And that's why I said learning how to wash certain fruits, bananas and oranges.
How do we get to this? Okay.
Oh,
I don't know. Fly girl sounds a little kinky to me.
Exactly. I'm like, well, wait a minute. And maybe it's just because it's been going on 8 years for me. So I'm thinking, wait a minute, you're washing banana. How do we get to abstinence to banana? I figure that.
I just had to, do things,
That's right.
That's like
So you learn to wash oranges and bananas and other stuff.
And I know
that's good, Candy, because the older you get, and sometimes mates don't hold up.
Oh Lord.
You have to learn new things.
That is true. That is so
true. She said, I learned to wash.
I think we've embarrassed Flagger. Her face has gotten a look.
I'm just thinking.
No, we got you this time. You are on camera. And your face is flushed.
Well, I said it's been 8 years, so what?
Lord.
8 years for me, so. Yeah, it should be flushed. Probably because I'm thinking, now, what does those activities even look like anymore? Their new equipment, because I don't know. I wouldn't even know how to go on a date anymore. So I've been abstinent from all of that, so I wouldn't even know how anymore, really. So.
Well, you know what the thing is with 2020, it's a bunch of stuff that has changed. There's no dates. Let's be honest. People don't do dates anymore. They just hook up, which, hey, I'm not against one night stands. But I will say this, when you get into something that's quick, you have to have the right mind for that.
Yeah, you
do.
You
do.
Like you have to know and really understand that you're only in it for one thing. And when it's over, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that takes an emotionally. Yeah, that takes an emotionally strong person. So I think what's difficult is identifying whether that partner is where you are emotionally, because you could be like, yeah, this is what's up, this is what's going to happen, and then he's like that too, and then you realize he's not, and then he's starting to get on your nerves. So yeah, you have to make sure that you find someone emotionally equal to you when it comes to that there. Otherwise, one of y'all gonna get your feelings hurt.
And DJ Silver Fox kind of touched on it, because I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I'm kind of, I'm glad I'm single. I'm glad I'm single, because I wouldn't know what to do if I had to be stuck in a house with someone who I really didn't want to be in the house with that long period of time. So I know that has been challenging for a lot of people.
It's
Yeah,
very difficult. It's very
yeah,
difficult.
it's challenging for me to be in the house stuck with Riddick. Okay, so the dog. So
I
sometimes
think one of the comedians said that it might have been Ricky Smiley who said he said that I'm even sick of looking at the dog.
yeah, and I know he's sick of looking at me too, because it's just like, at least even if I was in the crate, at least I didn't have to hear your mouth all day long. So we're sick of each other. And this last week, been in the house with Devin, I guess it hasn't been that bad because he's really been quarantined to his room. Stay up there, don't come out, sort of thing. Because I was just getting better. So then I had to quarantine him in his room. But yeah, so it's been
I
a
think
little
you get. I think I was last night. We were riding home and from dropping off a present, and I forget what that. Lee calls Trump my cousin because I'm just so into political, and he goes, "I bet you your cousin is not going to do so and so. What you want to bet?" And I said, "Oh, okay. I know what I want to bet. That I don't have you shut your mouth for a week, and I don't have to hear you." So I mean, you start,
yeah.
locked up.
I know I'll be happy when January 20th or whatever the day is.
I don't think much is going to change. I think we're still getting into a lot of stuff.
But we won't.
Yeah, well, I think for the Biden team is there's going to be, me and my mother were talking about, there's going to be the damage that's been done in one term will take at least two terms to.
It's irreversible for another year.
I wouldn't even say, rectify, because it's all about relationship. It's with like any relationship. But this is broken at every core. So it's not like someone cheated on you and then you have to work through that betrayal and then build the trust, but you still had the love. This is so many more aspects that we have to build, and it's internal infrastructure relationships, is relationships with other countries that we used to be cool with, our ace boon coons, and now they don't want like us anymore. So it's everything has to be rebuilt from the bottom up. And so I am looking forward to seeing the work that's going to get done, and I have to accept that it's going to be in baby steps. But I'm also very excited that the team, his entire team, is so diverse and just so talented and successful in each of their rights. And it really does look like all the ethnicities you could think of. That's what it looks like, and it is beautiful.
He said it was going to look like America. He said it was going to look like America.
And there's a lot of women, and there's a lot of women who are doing things, not just Kamala, but heading jobs that have always been for men. And so for me, he's done a really great job in selecting what America looks like. And also opening my eyes to, I didn't even know some of these jobs were jobs. And I also didn't even know that who any of these people, men or women, were. So it's very exciting for me to be able to understand a little bit more about politics, because I have a granddaughter now, and so I really want America to be able to be something that will be reflective of her if she decides whatever she wants to do. It doesn't have to be politics, but whatever she wants to do, she'll be able to look and see that as a woman, as a young woman, she can do anything she wants. We don't have to have the president of the United States just be a woman. She could do any of those things. And I think that's where we get stuck sometimes, is saying, well, no, our girls can be this thing here, which is the president. Of course they can, but there's so many more integral parts of supporting that role I'm happy for her to be able to have these examples, and also us to have these examples, because as we know, um, lives and passions can take us in many different directions. It doesn't really matter how old we are. So even at the ages we are today, there's things that I'm excited to learn about, and I'm just very excited for this next administration, just to see what kind of powerful work they'll get done. And I've always said, look, women know how to run things a lot better than men. So I just want to see how that woman's voice, that woman's touch is going to impact this presidency.
It's a great reset of a lot of things.
Yeah.
Mhm.
A lot of things. And like you said, it's going to take baby steps. You know, the important thing is that it's in process. It's in
Right.
process. Now we just have to be patient enough and have to understand, like you just said, there's going to be just like no difference than we are now. We are experiencing suffering, whatever you want to call it, from previous administrations. So it doesn't
Yeah.
really matter. It's always going, you're never going to really see a good impact until a few years after the fact. So we
Yeah.
have to be patient. Um,
Right.